The 19th season of Sister Wives is without a doubt one of the most heartbreaking seasons in the franchise. It documents the tragic passing of Janelle Brown's son, Garrison. The latest episode featured the Brown family's reunion as they sent Garrison to his final resting place in Wyoming. But amid all the emotions, some fans have given their thoughts on how TLC handled Garrison's death. Keep reading to see the discussion. Sister Wives. Kody Brown faces controversies in funeral. A source who claimed to be part of the funeral organizers previously surfaced, making shocking claims against Kody. According to the claimant, Janelle's family has already told off Kody and Robyn at Garrison's funeral service. It was also said that nobody from the family wanted to film the funeral. But Kody and Robyn still came and even brought TLC film crews with them. The source claimed that things got intense when Kody arrived, adding that he and his wife acted so high around other people. Amid all the controversies, some Sister Wives fans weigh in on how TLC handled the heartbreaking passing of Garrison. Fans weigh in on how TLC handled Garrison's death. Some Sister Wives fans on social media discussed how TLC handled Garrison's death. According to the poster, they learned back in college that when a public figure committed suicide, it would often cause a sudden rise in suicide rates around the world. The only exception they could think of was Kurt Cobain's passing. But the OP thinks TLC handled Garrison's situation well. Instead of focusing on his death, the network showed how his tragic passing affected the family. They like how the network showed everyone how a suicide can further break a family's hearts, and it would never make the world better. The OP clarified that they do feel bad for the Brown family, but showing their grief on TV has become a rare thing to see in today's culture. I agree with you. TLC has done a great job in showing the impact of Garrison's suicide on his family. Even the fishing excursion was filled with love as the family gathered for an activity together. I could have done with less of Kody and Robyn riding that horse, though. That was totally out of place for this particular episode. Thankfully, TLC has been thoughtful and respectful, and I appreciate their effort. I do too. It was a hard mission they had. To be respectful. They did a good job, especially with the OG family. That last episode was a killer. And how they lead into his death with Miri getting the call from Kody was a gut punch. I'm glad they showed it, but also glad we are past it now. Not that it can't be referenced, but the hard part is over. Agreed. And the fact they waiting to air it till after the 1-year mark, I very much appreciate. This is a great point. The more we educate about the fallout of a suicide, the more we can prevent them. Sister Wives. What is Janelle Brown up to amid healing journey? It's been a year since Garrison Brown died. At this point, Janelle is still documenting her healing journey. She's been spending more time with her kids since the devastating death of Garrison. The Sister Wives star likes to share her garden projects with Madison. She has also started building her dream house in North Carolina. Janelle recently got back from a trip to Santa Fe, as well to celebrate fans outraged over TLC's handling of Garrison's tragic death. The Sister Wives community was shaken to its core by the devastating news of Garrison Brown's passing. Garrison, the 25-year-old son of Kody and Janelle Brown, was a beloved figure among fans, known for his humor, independence, and deeply human presence in a family often caught in emotional upheaval. His tragic death sent ripples through the fandom, sparking waves of grief, compassion, and reflection. But as the mourning settled in, a new emotion began to surface: outrage. Not directed at the family, but at the network that broadcast their lives to the world, TLC. Fans were quick to point out what they felt was a cold, commercialized, and poorly handled response to the tragic loss. What followed was an outpouring of criticism, raising serious questions about ethics, responsibility, and humanity in reality TV. A tragedy that hit home. Garrison Brown died by suicide in early 2024, a heart-wrenching event that no parent, sibling, or viewer could prepare for. While the Brown family requested privacy and space to grieve, fans united online to share memories of Garrison and express condolences. Social media quickly filled with clips of Garrison's most cherished moments on the show: his wit, his love for animals, and his bond with his siblings. Many reflected on the mental health struggles Garrison had quietly endured, including hints of emotional distance from his father, Kody Brown, in the later seasons. Viewers who had watched him grow up on their screens felt the loss personally. He wasn't just a reality star. He was a young man many had come to admire and care for. TLC's response: a missed opportunity. As grief turned into collective reflection, fans turned their eyes to TLC. Expectations were high for a network that had built an empire off the deeply personal and emotional journeys of the Brown family. Yet what many fans saw instead was a brief, sanitized statement and what they perceived as a delayed, minimal on-air acknowledgement. Critics say TLC missed a chance to show real empathy. Instead of a heartfelt tribute or a special memorial episode, fans received a simple slide at the end of an episode or a generic post on social media. For a figure so beloved, and for a loss so serious, this felt hollow. Garrison was more than a character on a show. He was someone we watched grow up. He mattered, one fan tweeted. The way TLC brushed past this tragedy is disgraceful. Among the loudest criticisms from fans is the perceived lack of respect in how TLC handled the emotional gravity of Garrison's death. While reality television inherently walks a line between storytelling and sensationalism, fans felt this was a moment to step back from drama and deliver dignity. Comment sections on TLC's official platforms became flooded with frustrated responses. You profited off this family's trauma for over a decade. The least you could do is honor Garrison properly. This wasn't just a plot point. This was a real person. He deserved more. Some fans even called for a boycott of the show, claiming they wouldn't watch future seasons unless the network addressed Garrison's passing with the sincerity and depth it deserved. Mental health in the spotlight. Another major thread in the backlash centered around mental health. Garrison's death, by all appearances, was the result of a mental health crisis. Viewers believed the network had a unique opportunity, perhaps even a responsibility, to raise awareness around suicide, depression, and the emotional toll of fractured family dynamics. Instead, TLC remained largely silent. Mental health advocates and viewers alike were disappointed that the network chose not to provide resources, host discussions, or highlight support services for those struggling with similar issues. Imagine the lives that could be touched, or even saved, if TLC had taken this moment seriously, said one Reddit user. The sentiment echoed across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. This was more than just a storyline. It was a real-world tragedy that could have sparked vital conversations. The ethics of reality TV. Garrison's death has reopened a long-standing debate about the ethical responsibilities of reality TV networks. When you turn a family's life into a source of entertainment, what obligations do you have when real pain, real tragedy enters? Sister Wives has profited from the emotional highs and lows of the Brown family. Viewers have watched divorces, parental estrangement, children's struggles, and moments of deep personal conflict play out in real time. Garrison himself was shown to be growing increasingly distant from his father and frustrated by family dynamics, issues that many now view through a much more serious lens. Reality TV can't just cash the check and walk away when things get real. said one viewer on a YouTube tribute video. If you're going to tell people's stories, you need to honor their lives and their losses with compassion. What the fans want now. The fan community isn't just angry, they are asking for change. Many are calling for TLC to air a full tribute to Garrison, complete with family input, heartfelt moments, and mental health resources. Others suggest the network should fund or support a suicide prevention initiative in Garrison's name. A Change.org petition calling for a proper on-air memorial quickly gained traction, with thousands of signatures appearing within days. We are not asking for drama, the petition read. We are asking for dignity. Fans are also urging TLC to be more transparent with viewers moving forward. If the network plans to cover Garrison's death in the next season, they want to know it will be handled with care, not edited for shock value or ratings. A moment to learn, not exploit. While outrage still lingers, there's also hope that something good can come from the collective pain. Garrison Brown's life touched many people. His tragic death has already inspired conversations about mental health, father-son relationships, and the pressures of growing up in the public eye. Now it's up to TLC and reality television as a whole to decide what happens next. Will they listen? Will they honor him? Or will this be another moment where entertainment wins out over empathy? Final thoughts. Garrison Brown was more than just a member of a reality TV family. He was a young man navigating identity, family tension, and personal growth in the public spotlight. His story deserved, and still deserves, to be told with grace, care, and respect. Fans have spoken loudly. TLC must do better. The world may have met Garrison through a television screen, but his legacy now lives in the hearts of those who watched him grow, who mourn his passing, and who demand that, even in reality TV, humanity's death sparks controversy among Sister Wives fans. The Sister Wives community was struck with unimaginable grief in early 2024 when news broke of Garrison Brown's untimely death. At just 25 years old, Garrison, a fan favorite son of Janelle and Kody Brown, was found deceased in what authorities later confirmed to be a suicide. The shock was felt deeply not only by the Brown family, but also by fans around the world who had followed Garrison's journey from a young boy into adulthood on their television screens. But in the weeks that followed the devastating announcement, sadness gave way to anger, frustration, and confusion. Not all of it directed at the family or circumstances surrounding Garrison's death, but rather at how the situation was handled, portrayed, and discussed by the network behind Sister Wives, TLC. Now controversy is swirling. From the way the network acknowledged the tragedy to the broader implications about mental health and reality television, fans are speaking out and demanding change. A devastating loss felt beyond the screen. Garrison Brown was not a main character in the traditional sense, but he was deeply loved by viewers. Many fans admired his down-to-earth nature, quiet strength, and moments of gentle humor. As the Sister Wives family became more fractured over the years, especially with increasing tension between Kody and his older children, Garrison became a symbol of quiet resistance. He was vocal about his independence, often clashing with Kody's attempts to exert control, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, when Garrison's choices about work and social contact created serious rifts. But fans sided with him, seeing a young man simply trying to live a normal life. So when news of his death surfaced, it felt personal. Viewers who had watched him grow up over 14 seasons mourned not just a TV figure, but someone they felt they knew. And someone whose struggles may have been more visible in hindsight than many realized. TLC's reaction, a tribute or a miss? Shortly after news of Garrison's death broke, TLC issued a brief statement expressing condolences to the family. The message, posted to social media, offered sympathy but was strikingly short and formal, more corporate than compassionate. Fans were quick to notice the tone. "Garrison was a part of our lives for years," one user commented. This deserved more than 2 sentences and a logo. The controversy deepened when the most recent episode of Sister Wives aired and included only a minimal on-screen acknowledgement of Garrison's passing. Some fans had expected a heartfelt tribute, a montage of his moments on the show, interviews with his siblings, or perhaps even a special episode dedicated to his memory. Instead, they received what many called a "blink and you miss it" memorial card. To those grieving alongside the Brown family, this felt not only insufficient, mental health conversation fans wanted. One of the most sensitive and deeply felt aspects of this controversy is how the network missed a crucial opportunity to talk about mental health. Garrison's death, confirmed to be suicide, presented a moment where the network could have stepped forward with resources, awareness messaging, and support for viewers experiencing similar struggles. Instead, fans say TLC remained largely silent. They had a platform, millions of viewers. They could have put up the suicide hotline number. They could have encouraged people to talk to someone. And they did nothing, wrote a longtime Sister Wives viewer on a fan forum. They profited from his life. They owed him that. In an age where mental health awareness is vital and increasingly centered in public discourse, many see TLC's lack of response as not just a missed opportunity, but a moral failure. A family in grief and a father under scrutiny. The situation was further complicated by the public's perception of the internal dynamics within the Brown family, especially between Kody and his children. Over the past several seasons, Garrison, along with his brother Gabriel, had become visibly distanced from their father. Fans noticed the absence of warmth and connection, and some episodes showed Garrison expressing feelings of rejection and hurt. In the aftermath of his death, that estrangement has become a flashpoint for discussion. Was the show exploiting Garrison's pain? Was more going on behind the scenes than viewers knew? A social media post from Janelle Brown, Garrison's mother, drew widespread empathy. Her heartbreak was evident. She asked for privacy, but also acknowledged the deep pain her son had been in. Kody, however, became a polarizing figure. His silence in the days following Garrison's death was interpreted by many fans as detachment. When he did eventually release a public statement, some thought it lacked the raw emotion expected from a grieving father. That reaction fueled the fire. Longtime viewers debated whether the show's portrayal of Kody's parenting was accurate or edited for drama. Others questioned why TLC hadn't used the moment to address the visible breakdowns in the family unit, something they had capitalized on for years. Viewers take a stand. Outraged by what they perceived as TLC's mishandling of the situation, many fans took to action. Hashtags like #JusticeForGarrison and #DoBetterTLC began trending across Twitter and Instagram. Petitions were launched demanding a formal tribute episode, and greater acknowledgement petition titled "Honor Garrison Brown with Dignity" amassed thousands of signatures within days. The creator wrote, "TLC owes Garrison's memory more than a 5-second message. Give him the respect he deserves. Share his story. Honor his life." Other fans used their platforms to raise awareness for suicide prevention, calling on the network to include mental health PSAs in future episodes. A larger question about reality TV. At the heart of this controversy lies a larger issue. What are the ethical obligations of reality television networks to the people whose lives they document? Reality TV is built on real people, real families, real emotions. But when tragedy strikes, can the same networks that package conflict and breakdowns as entertainment step up and offer real compassion? For many viewers, TLC's handling of Garrison's death highlights the darker side of the genre. It reveals a disconnect between the human cost of these stories and the business of making television. Fans aren't asking for perfection, but they are asking for humanity. The legacy Garrison leaves behind. Despite the controversy, one truth remains clear. Garrison Brown left a mark on the people who watched him grow up. His strength, his struggle, his gentle presence, all have resonated in ways no edit or episode can capture fully. In his memory, fans have started GoFundMe campaigns for mental health charities, shared their own personal stories, and created spaces online to discuss grief, trauma, and healing. Garrison's death has opened conversations that extend far beyond a single TV show. And maybe in that, through love and through outrage, his story will continue to make a difference. Final thoughts. The tragedy of Garrison Brown's passing is something no parent, sibling, or friend should ever have to endure. For the fans of Sister Wives, it's also a painful reminder of the real people behind the reality shows they follow. As the controversy around TLC's response continues, one message is clear. Viewers demand respect, dignity, and heart, not just for entertainment's sake, but for the people whose lives are forever changed. Whether the network will listen remains to be seen, but the fans, they're not staying silent.